Yo, what's up? I want to talk about how I've made friends within the past year. So for starters, what's poppin'? So we're going to chat about it. I know for me, making friends in school, it's kind of limiting. So I want to start off with that. I didn't really build super strong friendships where I'm talking after high school, okay? Alrighty. Like I'm not really talking to anybody from after high school, really, basically, pretty much. And after high school, I was struggling to build some strong friendships that I felt like, you know what I mean? Like you want to reach your full potential. Does that make sense? You really want to reach your full potential. So for me, for the longest time, I was in a young adult group. And when I was this was a young adult group for 18 to 30. It was at my old church actually. And I was in that and I wasn't really building strong friendships. You know how there's different types of friendships where it's like, oh, you don't talk all the time on text, but you're still like best friends, or you still have a strong friendship, or it's best friends and strong friendship. You get the idea. With the same person, of course, same people, of course. So yes, I was connecting with people at my old church, but it wasn't best friend level. It wasn't like, oh, we are friends. But there is someone that I'm really good friends with though to this day from my old church. So that's awesome. But the thing was, I actually was looking to, I was joining the young adult group. I wish in a way that would have been great if I joined the young adult group at the minimum age range. You know what I mean? How there's groups where some groups it's 18 to 22. So there's that, or 18 to 30, there's that, So I think with groups, it's always good to join at the minimum age range, of course, the minimum age requirement, eligibility, So there's that, okay? I didn't join as at the earliest age that I could, but okay. So I did join that and it was on and off. I was connecting, but I also wasn't connecting with some friends there, like I wasn't building strong friendships. And in a way, it's so easy to say, oh, well, I didn't show up very often. Of course, I'm not going to build friendships. It's so easy for anyone to say that being inconsistent and not showing up, it's going to be a lot harder to make friends. But I felt like even if I did show up there, I wasn't going to build strong friendships where it's like, oh wow, we're best friends. You know what I mean? So I ended up switching to a young adult group. That's a different one. I remember they changed things up. So instead of at the church, it's at the houses. So there's that, but at the person's house, and they switched it up. I didn't really go to that a whole ton. Okay. But then later on, I was like, I need a new young adult group to join. I got to find something. Like I got to join something because I want to be involved. So I remember I was doing emails, sending some emails out for, honestly, what ended up being my new church, okay? But I remember I was sending some emails out to different churches, trying to connect somewhere, and it wasn't like, oh, it had to be a young adult church. Well, young adult church, young adult group. In a way, initially, yes. That was the main starting point, but it ended up not being like, oh, it had to be that. It was that in the beginning, but then finding groups. So I ended up going to different groups. It was a mishmash. There was no, like, you know how they say niche down on YouTube? There was no focus on which group because I was going to more than one group at the new church, okay? And that's that. So I went to the new group, and there's one that I know for me, like when it's like rainy outside, I'm not gonna attend if it's like super, super, super rainy. But I will say this though, on top of that, the thing was, it's a weekly group actually. It's like more weekly-ish, like closer to weekly-ish than the old group. So that was another thing too, was anyways, I found, this is more of my journey, I guess you could say. I know initially in the beginning, I was like, it didn't need to be more often than my old church group or the young adult group. But in a way, it's a blessing finding a group where it's like, oh, this isn't just once groups every few weeks. This is more often than that. So that's really nice. Okay. So that's something that was really helpful for me. And then there was also this one group that I went to years ago, and I ended up going to it again because there was someone that I connected with, and then he reached out to me. Funny enough, someone emailed me from it, and he was like, hey, there's this group. And yeah, so you know how there's like groups, there was like an old group that I went to, yeah, and it was people that were, so like they were under 30, okay? I was a lot younger, of course, when I was in the group. So someone from the group, okay, they sent me a message and they let me know that I should go to the group. So I joined it, and I've been really committed to this group, and I'm really happy about that. That's honestly how I've made my friends, is by being committed to the group. But I think in all honesty, it's finding the right group. That was really what has been really helpful for me, was finding the right people, finding the right group. The thing was, it wasn't texting every single day. It wasn't texting all day. It was just more so finding the right people. And it's been working out nicely because I found a group that, even though it's less often than my old church, so different groups I'm in, okay? So there's one that's more often than my old church. That's a group that I've found. And then there's also another group that, it's not super often. So there's the group that's more often, and then there's the group that's not super, super often. And then, hey man, like I found something that, you know how there's groups where they do other, maybe it's hangouts, maybe it's something else, you know, there's that. So I found something to attend, a Bible study actually. And if you can find a Bible study, go for it. You got to reach out, really. I know for me, it wasn't actually reaching out though. I mean, it kind of was, because I sent the emails and there was the one guy that reached out to me, but then it wasn't even the guy that sent the email. It was the guy from the old group that I went to, not the group from ages, from the initial group. It was the newer group, okay? And then he reached out to me and he was like, you got to come to this group. I want you to go to this. So there's that. And then now it's like they started having a Bible study. So that is super nice. And it's been really helpful for making friends, showing up to events that are being held. So that's been really handy, and it's helped me connect with people even if I don't talk to them on phone calls or text, really. That's amazing. So it takes time to find groups, and honestly, I'm happy that it's taken less than a year actually though, or less than 2 years really, I guess you could say, to connect with people. So I am thankful for that. Bye.